Hello, hello. Welcome to another A Link to the Past No Major Glitches tournament match here on Zelda Speedruns 2. This is a winner's bracket round 3 matchup between MisanthropicBuddha and AceZer0187. Gonna hand it off to our commentators, Anders and Greenham. Take it from here.
Welcome, gamers. How we doing out there? How you doing, Anders?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing, Hammy?
Pretty excellent. Always nice when we get to sit down and watch some Zelda 3, especially when we got such a great tournament matchup here for you today in the winner's bracket, as our lovely restreamer informed us. We got Buddha and Ace, who are going up against each other. Their PBs are relatively close to each other, and as we all know, pretty much anything can happen in this game, so it is anyone's race to take for sure. We'll be getting started here rather shortly, so just sit back, relax, grab a nice beverage or something. Maybe cuddle a cat or a dog if you got one, and enjoy some Zelda here.
And while we wait, may I wish you all a happy National Spinach Day.
Ooh, I have some spinach that I need to use. That's a good call. Spinach is underrated, dude.
I love spinach because you can take a ton of it and then just cook it down to nothing.
Yeah, for sure. It always looks like so much when it starts. I mean, to be fair, like it can be done really poorly, but you know, if you know what you're doing with it, it could be some pretty tasty stuff. All right, looks like the countdown is underway for the race. We should be getting started here imminently. And as we get underway here and start to go through the beginnings of this game, I want to give a few details about our runners here and what's been going on with their tournament adventures so far. For Buddha, his PB right now is a 1:27.14. He was the 27th group seed. This is actually his first brackets match, and he went 0-3 in groups, but by virtue of him being in the top 8 groups there, he actually ended up being seeded into the brackets to where he got a couple buys. So this is his first brackets match, his first non-async race, actually. So very exciting to see. On Ace's side, he actually just recently PB'd yesterday, I believe, with a 1:28.52. He's been really progressing quickly. It's been really fun to track his progress. I believe he started the tourney with like a mid 129, maybe was even above like a 130 a little bit before that. So he's definitely a runner to keep your eye on. He was the 46th group seed. In his tourney road was that he went 2-1 in his groups, which netted him the 6-7 bracket seed. Very talented runners in their own right to get here, Scarlett and Liam, and that is where he sits today. The winner of this match will go on to face Matt 7898, whereas the loser will face the winner of Rob J. Beasley and Negazeus down there in the lower bracket. So that is kind of the state of things right now as they stand. So definitely a lot on the line here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd also like to point out I'm not 100% sure on Ace. You may be a bit more well-versed in his experience, but I know Buddha has just been playing for barely over a year, and really dug into that grind at the first part of what I call the quarantine startup, I guess. So it's really exciting to see, especially new runners who have just kind of gotten their foot in the water, so to speak, of the game, competing at such a high level.
Yeah, for sure. And they both have some very, very respectable times. And yeah, that is accurate to my knowledge that Buddha is relatively new. Famed student of DoomTap, who was kind of his mentor as he was learning the game and improving. So big shout outs to DoomTap for lending his knowledge to us lesser runners.
If I'm correct, Buddha got his first run on the boards the same week that I got my first run on the boards. Also, hey Raiders from Sirius's stream. Welcome to a fun little Z3 NMG tournament race that we've got going on here. Apologies for cutting you off there.
No worries at all. Relatively clean ball and chain fights from both of them. It looked like Buddha opted for one pot with 4 slashes, whereas Ace went for the 8 slash. Both pretty similar. Can be pretty similar in times with the 8 slash being potentially a little bit faster. So, but really not too much difference as we're coming out here.
I did get a little bit juked by Buddha. I was so excited to call out his chest turn on that lamp chest, and then I realized that that wasn't what happened. He just talked to Zelda after.
I believe we deemed that the Anders W, right? As opposed to the actual lengths W for the chest turn.
Yeah, it was very much the Anders W. So for those of you trivia enthusiasts, we have run our amazing trivia question for the day by Hammy, who has approved it, and we're pretty excited for that. So keep your eyes open and your brains ready. We're super excited. The answer is not Apple Farmer.
I thought that was always a valid answer, though.
It kind of is. I should really have an like an Anders 33 Apple Farmer emote.
That would be really good, actually.
I could just take Doom to Jesus and like put a farmer's outfit on him and you know, a little apple
on the head.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's my emote prefix. Hawks. So yeah, we're gonna keep an eye on the RNG here. Not bad Snake's Room on Ace's side. Both him and Buddha just doing a really great job of reacting to that. So we love to see that. That's usually one of the first big places where we have to think on our toes. At least for me as a commentator, that's the first place that I'm really looking to see how they do. Pass ball and chain.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the biggest sources of RNG is coming up right here for Ace with the key rat where it ends up spawning, which he actually got the best RNG where the key rat just walks towards you. Buddha unfortunately wasn't able to catch that rat before he decided to journey up to Seattle, but dispatched with him pretty quickly nonetheless.
But, I mean, Buddha is rich right now. 5 whole rupees. He is rich and rich in friends.
Yeah, we all love Buddha.
We do. Now, fun little trivia fact about Buddha. When Buddha and I first met at AGDQ 2020, the first thing that he said to me in more profane terms was, "Gosh darn it, Anders." And then he walked away.
That sounds like Buddha to a T, honestly. But on Ace's side here, we see that he came out of Escape with 1 single heart, which may look like a bad thing on the surface, but is actually going to end up saving him a little bit of time due to the beeping that is occurring, which actually, for some reason, makes the text go a little bit faster. So both runners here grabbing the same cart, which will restore them to full health as they make their way to Eastern.
So one thing I love about this run, and Ham and a few of my other friends know this about me, especially recently, is the optimization that happens on these overworld screens that saves time where you just wouldn't expect it is so cool to me. Looks like Ace took a little Octo Rock to the face, unfortunately, but nothing too bad to worry about.
Yeah, there's so much tiny little detail in this game that, on first blush, even if you're watching this game, even for like the 10th or 20th time, seeing one of these runs, there is going to be just a lot of little stuff that may not really appear on the surface, but the runners are obviously very aware of, and it's just, they tend to be little frame savers here and there, but there really is a lot of detail and work that goes into this run. It's a very knowledge-based speed run, I would say.
Honestly, all the technicalities are just so interesting to watch. So now we're hanging out in Eastern Palace, which is aptly named because it is a palace in the eastern portion of this Hyrule.
Whoa, mind blown.
You know, honestly, a lot of our dungeons are aptly named here. We have this, we have Desert Palace, which is a palace in the desert. Tower of Hera doesn't quite fit that theme. Aghanim's Tower, a tower owned by Aghanim. I could
Does
keep
he actually
going.
own it? Is his name on the deed, I guess? Is he not renting it out from
Does he
someone else?
have a deed? So here's my question. Was that tower always on Hyrule Castle, or was that an addition? Did he, like, land it there?
Interesting
I-
questions.
I don't
Something
know.
for
I
the chat
don't
to
think it's-
ponder.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever addressed anywhere. And if it is, and you think it make a good trivia question, you can feel free to let us know, and we'll try and get it worked into one of our next amazing races.
He built it with his apple farming profits.
Serious, Aghanim's not an apple farmer. Get it right.
He might be. How do you know? Maybe he's in cahoots with the uncle.
Okay,
Anyway.
you kind of got me there.
Coming up on our first kind of speed tech thing here, you see Ace taking some intentional damage there to get the iframes to step on that switch. Does so nicely. Let's see how Buddha fares. Very nice indeed.
Very nice. Uncle Nim. Ooh, this is some lore I can get behind.
How deep does the rabbit hole go?
Serious, Link also wears green. See,
All right.
Doomtap reminding us to keep a safe 6-foot distance. Social distancing is very important.
Yeah, good looking out. So
Everyone,
one
get some
thing,
thanks for Doomtap while Ham explains.
one thing I
something.
like to keep an eye on here through Eastern is how many rupees they end up collecting. You see that Buddha is still sitting on that same 5 from Escape, whereas Ace has 1. This is kind of the first dungeon where we have the opportunity to collect a few more rupees. We'll see if how Ace's drops here are on these popos. Does get a blue, so he's going to be okay for his rupee routing. We do try to, or we would like to try to get as many as possible before we actually get to the later parts of the game, which makes things a little bit easier later on, but both are on totally fine counts at this point. Nice quick kill by Ace there.
Oh, and the one for the wall, I love that. Want to point out that in Escape, Buddha getting that one for the wall for him too, very beautiful. Getting that blue rupee drop when trying to get through the key rat could work out in his favor. Makes a nice little buffer for us.
Both
That
finishing
wall
with,
has been a dirty, bad wall. We have to punish it by shooting it with an arrow.
I like to think that it's just an arrow for the homies. It's just a shout out to everyone else in the community. Just to say that that they're watching and we appreciate it. Ooh, interesting. This is something I didn't actually expect to see.
Saying
From
it
Ace
looks
here.
like Ace might be skipping tree poles.
Now there's absolutely nothing wrong with this. The time difference when it comes from getting your rupees here as opposed to some trees later on is pretty minimal. And honestly, for a race, it's a pretty good safety to have. He's also gonna, he also picked up some bombs as a result, so that's really going to make his routing later on pretty comfortable. So I'm not angry at that decision at all.
And at least on my screen right now, I have them completely synced up, which is just really cool to watch.
Yeah,
because of that.
They are definitely synced a little bit here. The timers on my side are just slightly desynced by about a second
Same.
and a half or so, but yeah, they're really close here from as a result of Buddha kind of missing a few attempts at that first spin speed
Yeah,
outside
that
of
spin speed got the better of him for a little bit.
yeah, both grabbing the book at the exact same time, pretty much.
Reading is fundamental, everyone. What was the last book that you read? Ooh, Buddha missing that spin speed's got to be a little bit frustrating.
I'm currently reading book 4 of the Stormlight Archives, which is a high fantasy novel, which is excellent. I highly recommend it.
I am in the middle of writing a libretto to an opera, so I'm mostly focused on that. But the last
You're
book
writing- You're writing things for other people to read.
Yeah.
It's
And the
valuable
last
too.
thing I read was Alice Isn't Dead by Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Kramer, a realization of a podcast that I really enjoyed.
Nice.
Reading is fundamental. So, Ham, can you guess what this palace is called?
I mean, you spoiled it earlier already, so I know the answer. I wouldn't have otherwise, though.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Oh, wait, no, chat's got it. It's Western Palace, that's correct.
Western Palace. Very good. Chat, you are
If we're going-
so attentive.
If we're going by FSG splits, then yeah, it's definitely Western. Yo, that strat from Ace in the desert lobby, that is
Ooh,
not something you see very often because it can actually be super risky. You can get blasted by that BMOS there. It can be a few frames faster though, but it's not something you normally see. And that is honestly one of the things that I love so much about watching these races side by side. You get to very clearly see the difference in strat choices and how those kind of affect the time.
Absolutely. I'm pretty excited to talk to both of them after this if they're willing to do an interview because these little differences are super interesting, especially to someone like me who's relearning the game as we speak. It's so funny that each little thing that they both have to like stutter on, like those cannonballs, just about puts them in sync for me. At M. Kosler. As a friendly reminder to all our tournament goers, we will be heading towards a very RNG heavy boss very soon, but also later in the light world. It's very important that if anyone gets super unlucky, I get ice cream from M. Kosler and a romantic candlelit dinner from Chex Human. These are legally binding contracts, and I will not hear otherwise.
I'm interested to actually see these contracts. Part of me thinks that they don't actually exist.
You'd be
You got
surprised.
signatures. Was it notarized? Did we go through the proper channels?
I am a legal notary.
Wow, really? Okay, I know who I'm taking
Yeah.
all my stuff to now.
Yeah, please, because my certification's not up for another like 4 years.
Nice. All right, let's see if we get the Yuzu strat on both sides here. Buddha does it. Ace does not. Slightly newer strat that was found in that room to dash below the BMOS, which basically removes the RNG from the popos at the top of the room there.
Very
Can make it a little
nice.
bit safer going through, so nice little pickup from Buddha there.
I do think that that's my first time seeing that, and it just reminds me how interesting the technical hitbox for those BMOS are. It's really only
Right.
on the block where the base is.
Yeah, it's
And
extremely
every time there's a beam.
deceptive. Yeah. It definitely doesn't match up with how it actually looks, but let's see how they do in the Landmo fight here. Buddha had an okay opening, but didn't get any hits on the third worm, it looked like.
Correct. Ace having a little bit more trouble.
This is the third worm, I think, that Buddha's working on here, which
It
doesn't
is,
have
you
that
are
much
correct.
damage in it. I saw Ace before this race was pretty much doing nothing but Lammo practice, which is never a
Fair
bad idea. This
and
is
accurate.
one of those. Oh, he's down to 1 heart. He's gonna be fine here, I think, as long as he doesn't, run his face into a worm there.
Very
And yeah, does
nice.
clean it up, keeps his distance a little bit, and just takes him out with an arrow. But yeah, Lammo is one of those bosses where you just have to put thousands of hours into before you start to get consistently good at it.
I will mention that Buddha really getting ready to clean up that third worm, and then that third worm was like, "Hey, how would you like 2 very annoying short hops in a row?"
Please and thank you.
Good.
Slightly different exit strats there. Buddha opting for a little bit safer exit there versus Ace's slash and dash on the Geldman there in the desert. About a difference of like 15 frames or so. So not a very big deal in the long run, and mostly just comes down to whatever the runner is comfortable with. As we come up on fake flippers, and we want to make very sure that neither runner gets hit here. Okay,
Very
one's
nice.
through. Two's through. All right, we good.
Yeah, that can be a big ol' sad, little sadge in the chat if it happens, but it's not the worst thing that can happen, I guess.
No, definitely not. I mean, and the tourney rules allow for saving quitting out of that potential soft lock, so the run's
yeah,
definitely not over. We've seen it a few times in this tournament so far, but not too many, honestly. Out of the number of races that have actually taken place, maybe it's only happened 3 or 4 times, something like that.
Yeah, we've definitely had more people having to think on their feet after an unfortunate ice palace than we have with fake flippers issues.
Yeah, for sure. And that's going to be one of the most important things. More so, I think, than just your strat choices throughout this race. It's going to be how you react to the bad stuff that happens, because spoilers, bad stuff is going to happen. So it's all about having some backup strategies in mind and thinking quickly on your feet.
So Ham, you're a pretty knowledgeable guy, right?
In some things, yes. In other things,
Like Zelda,
I'm a
right?
complete idiot. Yeah, I'd say so.
So what is this mountain called according to the source material?
Is this Mount like Helba or something like that?
Hebra, yeah, you didn't
Hebra.
fall for my trick. It's not technically Death Mountain, friends. Uh, what we call Dark Death Mountain was actually named Death Mountain, and what we call Death Mountain is actually Mount Hebra. I just think it's funny, and I sometimes like to throw trivia questions at Ham and see if he pays attention.
I always pay attention to you, Fran.
Oh, my heart, that's so kind. So in our Hebra ascent, I will mention Ace had a little bit of a bump and grind.
Oh my.
Yeah, but not the fun bump and grind. Buddha getting
Aw.
up pretty nice. I think Ace will probably be okay. I love that they're both doing the same strat. And Doom, while Rando does call it Death Mountain, so does Vanilla, like we all do.
Yeah,
With
serious.
the exception
Bringing up
of maybe Serious.
Serious bringing up a good point here that Buddha is on full health, so I think somebody needs to check his ROM and make sure he's using the correct version, because
He
this is a very
might
rare
be using
occurrence.
the game deficit. Has anyone checked him SNES NT?
But yeah, Ace, as you mentioned, did take some bumps on the way up there and is sitting on 2.5 hearts. There are some safeties along the way that you can grab, so hopefully we'll see him hit that switch to allow him to grab those pots a little bit later.
I love that safety switch. You may have to pry it from my cold, dead hands. And I especially have been loving seeing some top runners who have had to do that.
Oh yeah,
Or
no
who
shame
have
in it
opted.
whatsoever.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I've seen 125 runners do it during this tournament, and it makes me a 147 runner feel like, okay, yeah. You think on your feet. Sometimes you just have to be safe. Sometimes getting to the end is the most important thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Buddha showing some nice both of them showing some nice knowledge of avoiding that Kadongo flame there. We do love to see it.
Oh no! Yeah, so Buddha kind of
Oh.
paying the price now here a little bit for the gall of having full hearts walking into Hera. He's
Bumper
been
skipping.
punished. He took a few hearts of damage there in the petting zoo, and then unfortunately missed that 4-pixel window for the bumper skip, as Ace is on his Moldorm fight here. Let's see how he does.
This evil string of burgers made me cry during my casual playthrough. I think the VOD is gone, though. I actually
Nice
also
fight.
don't think I cried on stream, so that was good. Really nice fight from Ace right there. Buddha should be cleaning it up soon, I'm hoping. Yes.
Nice.
I think Buddha might be listening in and just saying, can I make Durs poop himself? Let's see.
I mean, you got to have some goals, right?
Right. Exactly.
All right, so Ace here already has the rupees that he needs in order to enter Palace of Darkness a little bit later, so he's going to be bypassing these tree pulls that we're going to see Buddha doing. He's going to pull one tree, get 4 blue rupees, kill 4 enemies, don't take any damage, pull another tree, get red rupees, and that's how we get the money that we need to actually get into pod a little bit later on. So there will be a little bit of a time difference there as a result, as Buddha has to go through those motions.
All right, Ham, I've got another trivia question for you.
I'm nervous now.
In that, when we're leaving Mount Hebra and we have to run down that 5-hole horror room with the bats, how many beats in quarter note equals 120 is it during your dash?
7.
5.
Damn.
Very close, very close.
Are you sure you're actually playing that at 120? I think you're rushing it.
Just because I'm a mouth band person doesn't mean I wasn't in finger band too.
Okay.
Meanwhile, we're getting the Master Sword, which is totally the best sword in the game, just like it is in every Zelda game it appears in. That's a lie. I'm lying to you. Don't believe me, friends. But it is nice. It gives us sword beams. It gives us a little bit more damage output. It make Papa happy, so we like it.
One other thing I did want to mention about Buddha that actually happened in Hera was he got an arrow drop from one of those Kadangos, so as a part of that prize pack. So you see there that he just killed that crow on the left, which is a part of the same prize pack, and he ended up getting the bomb drop there, which is not necessarily the worst thing in the world. We do kind of want to potentially see that later on in the run as well. We're going to see a little bit more prize pack manipulation coming up pretty soon on Ace's side. He's going to be... Oh, maybe
That's
he won't be. Oh, never mind.
But
He got the hearts
farms
that
the
he needs.
hearts
So
out.
he's back up to full now. So you can actually dash kill enemies to prevent them from dropping their prize. So that's how we kind of get around not getting any drops from these knights that are going to be coming up, which contain a heart and a fairy and a full magic and all kinds of lovely things that we want later in the run.
Yeah, what I like about Aga Tower is that it's a really nice culmination of those first 3 dungeons in a sense. But it's definitely not the thing that we usually want to have that fairy for. So it's good to see that Ace managed to delay it. Let's see how Buddha does.
Very nice.
Love it. Love to see
Well
it.
executed. All right. Any chest turns? Any chest turns in the chat? Nope. Not on Ace's side yet.
We had the Durs W, unfortunately, but let's see if we get another one. No.
Nothing on
that's fine
Buddha's side
too.
either. Now, besides the chest turn saving the obvious 5 million years in swag points, that one in the Dark Maze can be somewhat useful if you chest turn to the right, because you end up shining your light over there, and you can kind of see what the other guards in the maze are doing. But beyond that, chest turns really are just kind of a meme thing for swag. They don't actually save any time.
Now, don't tell me that too much, because I've definitely said, "Oh, I saved a frame there," and everyone in chat looked at me like, Oh no, honey, who's gonna tell him?
Hey, I mean, if you
Ooh,
believed you saved the frame,
I
then
really
maybe it
did.
happened.
Ace unfortunately wasting, I think, 4 extra arrows there on
Yeah, that was
those guards, which took a bit of time and makes me wonder: are we gonna have to get the drop down arrows? We might be fine.
he's fine. Yeah, he's got these 5 here,
Yeah,
so 6
as
is the
long as you
minimum you want to
exit with
leave with.
6.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wanted to note on Buddha's side there, he had a really nice strat in that guard room where he actually was able to fire 4 arrows while in between those 2 guards and kind of shimmying back and forth, which lets you get out of that room quite a bit faster than doing the other strats where you don't have beams.
So we're getting ready for blue balls, and Hammy, you may not know this about me, but I'm not good at counting. So I'm gonna suggest you focus on one runner, I'll focus on the other, since we're going in at the same time, just about.
Yeah, sounds
And
good.
I will use my fingers so that I can count high enough.
I
Who you
believe in
want?
you.
Who do you want?
I'll watch Buddha.
Okay, cool. Wish me luck, friends. I have to learn how to.
You got
Fox,
this. I believe in you.
are you gonna turn this into something bad?
There's a way
'Cause
you
it's
can
not
cheat
meant to
too,
be.
by the way, that I need to teach you later. But you can just
Oh,
watch
please.
the lightning cycles and count after that.
Oh, that makes sense.
Okay. It's like 2 on Buddha's side so far.
2 on
from
Ace's
this first
side as
cycle.
well.
Yeah, that's what you like to see. We want to see even RNG here. It takes a lot of bad RNG for Aga to make really any sort of. I mean, he can make an impact, but it's definitely not going to be the difference maker necessarily in the run. There's just so much more to this run than this the single boss here, and the time loss that you can experience from it. So lots of ways to make up time later on for sure. I think they both have 4 at this point. Yeah.
Ace actually has 5 at this point.
Good counting. Good counting. Proud of you.
I'm running out of fingers. I only have 5 left.
Oh no. Time to put those finger band skills to work.
Five. We're sticking with 5 on Ace's side. I think Buddha's up to 6.
Yep, that was 6 that he just finished on right there.
Is the leading blue ball counter for this tournament still Chex' 11, or has he been dethroned?
That's the most that I've seen so far is Chex' 11. I don't know if we've had any higher than that thus far. But yeah, still going to be relatively even coming out of the light world here and entering the dark world now, where the game really starts to ramp up in difficulty and damage that these enemies and bosses will do to you.
Absolutely. And Coastler and Chex, if you guys are listening, you're off the hook this time. No one happened to get the 15.
So based on their split times, looks like Buddha had a 31:02 sort up, whereas Ace had a 30:57, if I'm reading that right. So about a 5-second difference coming out of Light World, so not too bad. Still anyone's ball game for sure.
Yes, 30:57 is correct. I adjusted the source on my end.
Whoop. Just test driving Kiki, make sure he can react properly to bonks there on Ace's side.
Absolutely. Just make sure you're paying attention, right?
Ooh, very nice. Buddha buffering for that Kiki dash there. Gets a really good one. You can actually lose a surprising amount of time here if you don't get this version of the cutscene here. If you just dash straight up and leave Kiki at the bottom of the stairs there, he has to take quite the adventure to get up to the top there. You can lose multiple seconds, I want to say even.
Huh. I didn't know that at all. So thank you for teaching me something. Some really smooth movement on both sides here. Spent a little bit of time in this dungeon today, so I like when I can realize when they're doing nice things.
Yeah, it's something that's very handy, I think, when you're trying to learn this speedrun. Is just watching runners at almost every level. You'll be able to get some sort of information out of it. If you just watch top level runners, sometimes they're doing things that are just so out of your range and wheelhouse that you're not going to be able to really glean much from them. But yeah, watching runners around your skill level or just below or just above, can be very useful for sure.
Absolutely. So we are coming up on my favorite, one of my favorite exploits, I guess I would say, that we do in
That's
this
a good way to
run.
phrase it. Yeah.
Yeah, a double pixel perfect jump to get that hammer cuts out a couple of screens, and is a little difficult. I would say. I would say it's probably, for the route that I run, the most difficult trick that we have to do.
Yeah, it's very difficult for sure. The thing that really makes it so difficult, I think it would be a lot easier if obviously the bridge here wasn't following. So we're pretty much on a
Yep.
timer here, and if you don't hit this trick in the proper amount of time, you're just going to end up falling and have to restart it. So let's see how many extra buffers we get. Not too many on Ace's side.
Not
Pretty
too
decent.
many on Ace's side.
Buddha's still
Looks like
struggling a
Buddha's
little
having some-
bit.
You're close, friend. You're very there. We go.
He tried to sword buffer the last few. Just wasn't able to get them in time. Was probably just tired of trying to pause buffer. I've been there so many times where you're pause buffering and Link's like either not moving at all or just moving way too many frames. Turns out moving for only one frame out of a 60 FPS game is pretty difficult. So
Yeah. Ace also spending an arrow on our not so nice chest there, but I think should be still in great hands for the next bit. We'll have to probably pick up some of the arrows in this Mimic's room right here.
yeah,
Unless
for
he
sure.
knows
He's
something
gonna
I don't
need...
know.
Okay, there we go. I
Yeah,
thought he was
that's what I
about to
thought.
dash pass, but
Oh, same. Buddha.
Oh, no, Buddha!
Ooh, he can dash bomb. Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Showing off some really good game knowledge there. Actually, that's not something that I think is very, very well known. You may see a lot of runners just end up like taking a fall there, or even mirroring out. But Buddha, very heads up play there to just bonk back over the gap, and he's able to get back up
Absolutely.
to full hearts here, which is going to be very important for these rooms coming up that Ace is in right now.
I would also like to mention that, and I say this every time I commentate, and you guys know me, I kind of just say the same stuff over and over again. But it's so important to know your backups and know how to get out of a sticky situation. So seeing something like that, it warms my heart. Gonna give Buddha a nice little pat on the back next time I see him, and he'll say, "Gosh darn it, Durs."
Ooh, that's a pretty bad hit to take there on Ace's side. This is particularly bad because now he can only take 2 hits from Helmosaur before he would die on the next one, whereas if he had that extra heart there, he'd be able to take 3. That was kind of a result of a somewhat risky strat that he did there that doesn't really save a ton of time, but Helma is being super friendly right here. Not really showing any fireballs
you don't
at all.
like fireballs? Okay. Yeah, I'll sacrifice my life for you, Ace. Sure, yeah. I don't like fireballs either. They're spicy when they come out.
Maybe the trick is to just take a heart of damage before you roll in. I don't know. Could be it. But Buddha actually showing off some slightly new tech here, going for the spin dash and extending that hammer hitbox a little bit. Going to make parts of this fight a little bit easier for him. So I'm not seeing any fireballs here either. What is going on with Helma? Helma's just depressed or something? I don't know.
Helma needed, after some of the earlier matches that I've seen lately, Helma took an antacid. He's still burping under that mask, but you just can't see it or feel it.
Okay. Maybe he just needs some vitamin D. I don't know.
Yep. Get that big chunky boy some vitamin D. Get him some Sunny Delight. Shout outs to Sunny Delight. They're not sponsoring us, but I used to drink that stuff. It's probably horrible for you now, isn't it?
Yeah, can you even... I don't think it's even called like orange juice, is it? They have to call it orange drink because it doesn't even like technically qualify as orange juice.
That's true. Oh, you're probably right. I'll have to look into it.
All right. Well, Ace here is stocked up on bombs as a result of getting looting the back of Saha's hut there, so he's going to be pretty comfy in that routing. Both runners here sitting on 4 arrows though, so going to be looking to potentially pick up some more as we go along here. Maybe see, I don't think we've seen the drop on Ace's side yet, so we'll see if he ends up getting that in Thieves Town or not.
Sad little bonk, but Buddha did it under the foliage, so it was at least hidden, so no one knew about it, right? You guys didn't see it. I didn't see anything.
That's our little bonk. We're not going to talk about it. It's just between us.
Just paint a happy little bonk right there. No one needs to know. I do want to go over our rules, because we do have some rules for this next split. We are going... Ooh, Buddha, buddy. You made it. That is good. Cool. Great. Sorry.
Thumbs up.
Sometimes I just get scared, okay? So, in the Thieves Town split, we're going to be getting ready for some lovely trivia approved by our very own Greenham and the admins of the tournament. So the way that's going to work is there is a beautiful, totally safe and not horrible maiden in the cockles of Gargoyle's domain. We're going to pick her up, take her out of her jail cell because she doesn't deserve to be in there at all. And when we do that, once the first runner does that, I'm going to read the question twice and post it in chat. You have until the second runner defeats the boss of Thieves Town to give me the answer, and you don't win anything, but you get to feel good about yourself. It's some fun Zelda knowledge.
Cockles? I mean, it's a good word.
It fits. You know what, Dewey? Everyone, say something nice about my name is not actually Dewey, because we are a wholesome and friendly community.
I like the color of your name.
It is a very nice color.
Yo, nice. Buddha getting the triple dash there on the Three Musketeers screen, which is a pretty tight strat, whereas we saw Ace opt to go around the right side of the tree there, which is definitely a lot safer, just a little bit slower though, so Buddha potentially making up a little bit of time there.
Absolutely.
But yeah, really the biggest difference so far in this race has just been that hammer jump fall from Buddha so far. So he's definitely got a little bit of ground to make up, but nothing that can't be overcome for sure.
And technically, you know, there was the slight route divergence on Ace's side, but that didn't really change too much when you look at it.
Yeah, for sure. Plus, he's, up a few bombs now, so that can definitely help down the road. No God Pixel, unfortunately, on the Hellway.
Yo, but that bob and weave,
yeah.
I feel like Ace is prepping to be the lead in the next Rocky movie with how he did that. That took me way too long to get to. No one applaud that. That was a bad allegory.
And they've started using another actor for those movies, right? Because, there's no way Stallone can handle those anymore, right?
I hope so. No God Pixel, and Buddha taking a little bit of a bump, but only one is not too bad. It's still Stallone. It's basically Golden Girls, but with boxing gloves.
I would almost rather see the Golden Girls too. Get Betty White out there. She could.
You know what? I want Betty White to kick Sylvester Stallone's butt in the next Rocky movie. I want her to just wreck him.
I'd pay good money for that.
We're not sponsored, by the way, so all these are our own opinions. But if you want to sponsor us, you can. You too can sponsor the Hamders commentary duo, and we would love for you to.
NordVPN.
Make sure to go to
Trivia.
and
Go.
Oh, it's trivia time, guys. So this game shows us the first iteration of Zelda's protagonist using his right arm for his sword. This game shows the first iteration of Zelda's protagonist using his right arm for his sword. Serious? Shut up.
No, let more people guess. Shut up. It's fine. Yeah, I think Fayu's got some source material on this. That he
Yeah,
could probably provide as well.
Faye, talk us through this. Talk us through what you're thinking, because I don't know where you thought I got it from. Because I know where I got it from.
Ooh, okay, release a spin there
Okay,
online.
Ace.
You never want to see that? Okay, one more
Oh,
slash.
Ace.
He's good.
Oh,
Holy moly.
Ace and Buddha are colluding right now.
All right, so if Buddha can pull off this fight cleanly without that same sort of mistake, he can make up a little bit of ground here on Ace. Let's see how his fight goes. Been clean so far through the first two phases. Poke, poke, slash. Good job. Nice fight there from Buddha.
So now that both runners have completed and caught their crystal, Faye, that's not where I got it from. Sirius is disqualified because Sirius actually brought this question to me in an attempt to find a trivia question, with the answer being Twilight Princess's Wii version, which is actually incorrect. Yes, there were two versions of Twilight Princess. The GameCube version, in which Link uses his left hand, which was traditional in 3D Zelda games, but in the Wii version they flipped it because more people hold their Wiimote in their right hand. But technically, in the original Zelda game, and in Zelda 2, and in A Link to the Past, Link will switch which hand he's holding his sword in depending on the way he's facing. If he's facing left, he'll use his left hand. If he's facing right, he'll use his right hand. If he's facing up or down, he will also use his left hand. So technically the answer is Zelda 1, but Sirius illegally answered. So I'm banning him from my brain for the rest of this. Yeah, but Faye, you do have to look at the specific wording. I said in which he uses his right arm for his sword, not specifically. Bam!
Yeah. Y'all got well actually there.
Well, actually.
But yeah, it's definitely technically correct, which is the best kind of correct. We had kind of a little debate about it before this run started, and we were playing The Link to the Past at the time, and I was in disbelief that he actually, it is in his right arm if you're facing right, which is the weirdest thing. But I'm pretty sure that was just like a development programming thing, to where they just wanted to reuse the same sprite of him holding it, and they just mirrored it. So, but
yeah,
technically correct.
It's technically correct. And there are a few other instances. It's also, very nice fence stash on Ace's side of things. It's also important to remember that in the technical lore, every Link is different for the most part. So there are some other inconsistencies between games as to which hand the hero uses. Primarily, it was adjusted and thought about in later games around the mid-2000s to pay more attention to the fact that most people are right-handed and would be playing with a Wiimote in their right hand.
Yeah, I refuse, though. I'm going to keep it in my headcanon that Link is just left-handed through these first few games, at least. But
absolutely, left-handed representation matters. Take it from someone who's left-handed.
But back to the ball game. AceZer having a very clean mummy statue room there. Nicely done. That room can be quite the pain if you don't get very favorable RNG from the mummies, but he handled it well. Let's see how Buddha does here.
So now, Ham, I was always taught to throw that skull pot to the right, just in case. I noticed Buddha didn't, but didn't have any issues there. Is that just an RNG safety thing that I was taught?
Yeah, really the only reason that you need to throw the pot to the right there is if the jelly is camping there. So if you didn't happen to kill both jellies in your initial slash there, then you can throw that pot to the right to take care of that jelly there. But not a big deal either way.
I feel like I have to apologize for upsetting chat so much with this question. I genuinely did not think it was that big of a deal.
No, this is great. This is fostering healthy debate and conversation between the chat. You know, we're getting our chat metrics up here. So you did a great thing. You did nothing wrong.
Normalize admitting that you're wrong when presented with new information, chat. That's all I'm saying. Stole that directly from a political Twitter right there.
All right, Ace in the back half of Skullwoods here. Some of the actually most difficult rooms in the game to pull off well, and they're kind of all right in a row here. So pretty nice mummy hellway there. This vine room is definitely not as trivial as he just made it look there. Opting to fire rod the mummy here though, which is not something you normally street, but a very safe and consistent strat.
Not bad for a tournament run. I definitely like to see that. Ooh, that mummy getting in Bruder's way. Let's see if our moth is a friendly moth today.
Pretty friendly.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah, 2 spikes gone. Took a little bump to the head, but...
Okay, and you see the difference here now on Buddha's side, where he was actually trying to go for the optimal strat there in slashing the mummy against that spike, so it actually takes spike damage as well, but unfortunately had a little bit of a struggle there. See how he fares on his Mothula fight, though. Moth just doing a ring around the arena. Very nice poke dash there to finish off the fight for Buddha.
Yeah, this boss, definitely not as easy as they both made it look, and it still looked pretty difficult for them. We were having a bit of healthy debate the other day about what's the deal with this moth? The moth is stuck in a room with a conveyor belt and spikes around it that don't hurt it, and it cannot escape because the hole to that room, which is the only exit, is too small.
Let me ask you this. Can any of the bosses escape? Like, there ain't no way Helma's fitting through that door. Like, you're crazy if you're telling me that's actually possible.
Could.
Moldorm
could probably get out.
Maybe. I mean, that's still... You're still going to be taking fall damage, right?
Can get out.
Yeah, well, they can just tunnel underneath, right?
Were they born
Cold
there?
could. How? Were they born there? That's an
Cold could not.
Question.
There's no exit to that room except for above. Baby, they were born this way.
Can Cold and Vidi
even move?
I mean,
that's
Cold is definitely
question.
Frozen there. So until Link comes along and actually releases the puffs, maybe. I mean, gosh, I'm asking so many questions about.
Are we misreading the entire situation with Cold? Is Cold frozen? Is Cold captive of Ganon, and we free him, and he wants to thank us by giving us hugs, and we murder him? He thinks we're his savior. We're not. We're his murderer.
And I'm now questioning every single time I played this game now.
This is all cycling back to Link is wearing green. Link is Ganon.
Right. Buddha here took a half-hearted damage there, unfortunately. And I have to put out a PSA right now. If you are going to farm that bush for a heart, just pick it up and jump off the ledge with it. Link will regain normal walking speed when you land, and you can just use that bush to chuck into the circle to get the quake there. And you have successfully tried to farm that heart.
That's what I do. That's why I do it too. I specifically say to myself, I need to regain normal walking speed for this bush, and I sound really smart when I do it too, and everyone's really impressed. And then I get
that's like 90% of it's like 90% of intelligence, anyways. Just sounding like you know what you're talking about, right?
Well, apparently not. If it's about Link holding his sword in his right hand.
All right. Oh no, Ace actually getting bopped by one of the mini Zoras there. So
Ugh.
unless he can farm a heart here potentially, it can be kind of dangerous to do so, especially on these screens. So we'll see what he chooses to do. He does poke that crab. He could have checked under that rock there to see if a heart would have been dropped. The reason that I'm harping on this is because having sword beams is going to be very important for the second room here of Ice Palace coming up. So it's not something to where we're worried about the fact that he's going to die or something like that. It's just that having sword beams is going to make Ice 2 so much easier and faster.
Absolutely. These jellies, who I cannot remember. Oh, decides to just. Well, yeah, that makes sense. These jellies can be really frustrating. I cannot remember for the life of me. That's really frustrating. Their traditional name. So chat, I know, is gonna let me know because I know you all have it bookmarked on the Wikipedia.
Larry. Larry the Jelly. I swear I know the name. I'm completely blanking on it right now.
I want to say it starts with a B. Berry? Those aren't berries.
Actually, you know what?
They might
You're
be.
right. They are.
I think
berries.
they are because. So
So
thanks, Chex, for saying Larry because it rhymed
Larry
with
was
berry.
really close. It's Larry the Berry. Okay, this makes total sense now. All right, both runners back up to sword beams here. So we see Ace taking advantage of that actually, and doing a damage boost there to align with the spikes. Looks like he's going with a spin setup here, which both runners notably have been using on every single bomb jump here so far. So he uses that spin setup to get himself on the edge coordinate there and complete the bomb jump from that point. Nicely done.
And thank you, She Squiddo, for also explaining the difference between the smaller ones that spawn out of the red berries, because there is a difference there, just like the Zolo versus other things. So I love the team effort that we've got going on here.
Yeah, that's a good point, Blaine. I've seen a few runners doing that now. I know Sirius does that as well, where he slashes to the right in the previous room so that he can just hold left in the Ice Palace bomb jump room and then do the setup nicely from there. I didn't realize Ace did it too, but it's nice to see that catching on. It's cool when strats like that kind of trickle through the community and more people start to pick it up. So but now we come on to one of the probably most punishing bosses to die to in this run. So we definitely don't want to see that happen to either runner here. We're going to hope for some nice, clean, cold stare fights here. Let's see what strats they opt for. Ace going for the 6 slash. I believe Buddha does the same approach. Very nice fight from Ace there.
Ace, this is again hot in here. That was very nice.
Buddha going for the 6 slash as well, trying to keep him in the corner. Beautiful.
Very nice.
Nice.
Takes
That's
an unfortunate little ice cube right there at the end, but
that's just an attaboy on the way out, you know. Yeah, 6 slash is usually what you're going to see runners starting out with. It can be a very, very viable strat to even for top runners for quite a long time. But it can get a little bit unwieldy sometimes, depending on how the puffs choose to move. So you will see other runners try to pick up the poke dash strats at some point to try to make the fight a little bit more consistent. But no matter what strat you do, it's a tough fight, and things are always going to go wrong, and people are going to mess it up at every single level. I do want to note here that going from plus 33 after Skullwoods to minus 1.3 after Ice Palace. I'm not sure what happened in Ace's PB there for him to have made up that much ground, but you love to see it.
absolutely.
We're seeing a little bit of a route divergence here, it looks like, unless I completely missed Ace going up Death Mountain. Okay, so yeah, he doesn't have the Or does he? Wait. No, he has Quake right now. He doesn't have Ether.
Only Quake.
We
I
gotta
will
figure it
mention that Buddha's still having a lot of trouble today with those spin speeds, having to do the Hebra Mountain Ascension spin speed 3 times.
Yep. Spin speeds are tough. It's one of those things that it's kind of like on a day-to-day thing, or sometimes like week to week. Sometimes you'll just be nailing them all in a row and have no issues with it, but once it kind of like gets into your head, like, oh shit, I can't do spin speeds anymore. I'm missing every single one of them. And then it just kind of starts compounding, and you kind of have this mental block where you can't do it anymore. But again, it turns out doing things in one frame in this game is very difficult. So definitely something we're kind of used to seeing. Yeah, that can be something that factors into runners' decision onto where they actually opt to do their collection. Doing Ether in this split obviously does add another spin speed to the game, and I definitely don't fault any runners for making the decision on that basis. You got to do what's best for you and most comfortable. Buddha, actually, I really love that strat for the anti-fairy room with the lever. That's actually, I want to say that's the 3rd fastest strat in that room, but it's not by much. And that's just a super, super easy strat, and kind of takes advantage of kind of this weird state that we get into when we go into that room, to where when Link bonks, he actually doesn't recoil backwards and just bonks straight up. So you can start pulling the switch immediately during that animation. So kind of a cool abuse of game state there for a pretty nice consistent strat.
It's a consensual abuse. You know, it's fun. We're going back to 50 Shades of Blue Senshio in this chat.
Yeah, it's only like 5:30 here. I don't know if I'm ready for this.
Right now, we're dealing with a little bit of Durs After Dark situation, so love y'all. Now, Zakat, I understand where you're coming from, but time is money, and we do spend time.
But it's time we have to spend regardless. So are we really like digging into our pockets for extra time that we wouldn't be spending otherwise? I don't know.
I definitely am. I would love more
Okay.
time. You
Fair
know what I
enough.
would do with it? I would sleep. I am very tired. Always.
Sleep. Sleeping's great. I love sleeping.
Once I am fully vaccinated and totally safe, I'm gonna get some friends. We'll get some tacos and some queso and a huge ass margarita, and then find a friend to give me a back massage and let me sleep.
Yoho, when was the last time you paid money for bombs? Scouring Hyrule Overworld, procuring practical items needed to game. Perfect. I said in the speed run. Anyway,
Swamp
there's
is...
some gaming happening in front of us.
What? This is a speedrun?
Yeah, something I love to see and I appreciate from both of these runners is that neither of them went for the 5-frame save or hammer dash before the big key there. So big shout outs to them.
You know, the proper strat for that actually is to go for the hammer dash and miss it 3 times, hammer 1 skull, and walk through the room.
Okay.
Trust
I'll have to
me,
try that
that's
out
what I
next
do.
time. I'll do that in the weekly on Sunday.
Sounds good.
So something that is kind of concern, but not really on Ace's side here, is the fact that he has just 19 arrows, which I think is what Buddha's going to end up with as well. It's a
Yeah.
totally fine count to get through, but we would like to see a few more here coming out of Swamp. But That does mean he's going to most likely need to pick up some later on, as he is dealing with Argus in the traditional hook and slash method here. Nice, safe, consistent. Be careful when going above Argus, because this is a 3D event that is happening in a 2D plane here. So
It's like
if
the
you're standing
reverse
above
speed
Argus,
effect.
yeah, kind of. If you're standing above Argus there, when he ascends, you'll end up taking damage. So don't do that, guys.
So just to jump on the name train, this is a palace that is inside a swamp. It's called Swamp Palace. Just showing you how creative things are here.
So since we did see a little bit of route divergence here, it's going to be a little bit tough to tell the actual delta between the runners right now in the race, but we will sync up again on the Turtle Rock overworld once both runners have the ice rod and are on their way to that last crystal. And Buddha cleans up the Argus fight there, no issues whatsoever, as Ace is actually gaining more time on his PB and is now ahead by 11 seconds.
Get some hype in the chat for that nice run so far. Ace taking a little bit of a cabbage bonk there and losing that spin speed, but from the look of those cabbages, it was inevitable.
Yeah, that's really tough to deal with here. And going back to our conversation about the routing differences, that is one reason that runners will opt to do the collection in Swamp as opposed to Mire here. Beams are pretty important, especially for Mire 2 coming up here. They can have some effect in Swamp as well, but it feels worse in Mire 2. And Mire is definitely a dungeon where we want to preserve as much health as we possibly can, since we do have to take quite a bit of intentional damage in that dungeon.
Absolutely. Ace also opting to get the ice rod. I'm not sure if you already mentioned that and my brain tuned it out, but Ace is getting it now.
Yeah, just another small difference here. These are just kind of minor things. It can be slightly more optimal in some cases to get the ice rod in the Turtle Rock split instead, but there's really... Ooh, no. He had to dodge some crabs there, so ended up missing the bird picking him up. But did actually end up farming a heart from the crabs without taking a heart of damage. I'm not sure if that's legal. We'll have to check with the judges. I'm pretty sure whenever you try to farm a heart in this game, you're supposed to take a heart of damage, so we'll have to get a formal ruling on that later on.
I will also mention that, I too have spent a lot of time dodging crabs and being successful at it, so just putting that out there, boys.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. So Misery Mire definitely lives up to its name. I would say there is a lot of miserable content that happens in here, in my opinion, Ham. So checks. Buddha and Ace decided to do different errand tasks. Ace already has the ice rod, whereas Buddha does not have it yet.
No, those arrows that dropped in the doorway, those would have been so nice for Buddha to have. Again, not the biggest deal in the world, but yeah, I've seen that a few times now. They both have exactly the same bomb and arrow counts. Buddha did get a drop from the slugs Those are in the bomb prize pack, which actually are 100% guaranteed. So anytime you kill a slug and it's not with a dash and you haven't frozen it beforehand, then you'll end up with a bomb. So it can be a pretty handy thing to know if you need a bomb from them for one reason or another.
And trust me, if you don't do spooky, which these runners both do, you want to make sure you have bombs in this dungeon. Just an FYI, in case you missed it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, one of these days I'm going to remember to check that room, like when I'm in the practice hack before lighting all the torches. Buddha having a little bit of a Durs W there in that Samaria chest. Danced around it, possibly trying to get a chest turn. Could not get there, but...
You're just doing a jig for some good luck later on. I'm sure that's all that was.
Dancing is very important, so I appreciate it.
Ace not going for the spark gamble here, and it's interesting that he took the path that he did. It actually ends up being a little bit slower than just going another column over to the right and doing the safer dash down there. But again, just a very small difference there, so not a huge deal. But usually when you see people taking the path he did, they go for the spark gamble there. Ooh, nice dodge of the BMO shot there from Ace. That was good.
Yep.
And both runners pretty much on similar health here. Ace is potentially going to get another heart here. Does get actually 2 out of that from killing the Wizard, so he's super healthy going into the basement, whereas Buddha definitely still has plenty of health to live through the intentional damage we'll be taking from the boss here, but not quite as much as Ace, so...
You like to have a little
bit of fight goes
in case things go wrong, which they may go wrong.
Okay, a little low on that second spin, so we missed that top left eyeball.
Leaving
Needs to
4
be
eyeballs.
really careful. Okay, I'm pretty sure the lightning
right.
does 2 hearts, so yeah, good dodges there.
Yeah. Oh, Ace missing second spooky? No, there we go. Just took an extra fire rod shot.
Good man, be cool. It's because the game demands it. But no, I'm just memeing a little bit.
Giveth, the game taketh away.
Yeah, it's a lot of physics in A Link to the Past. It seems like at times, but I'm not actually being serious. I don't mean to mislead anyone. It's not actually. Oh no, Ace taking a bump from that eyeball early on. These eyeballs do 4 hearts of damage, so. This is a little sketchy right now. He is playing it rather safely and slowly, which is a very good idea. Cleans up the last eyeball here. Both runners living with 2 hearts after the fight.
That's just like going back to what I was saying earlier, like know your backups, because I would have never thought about that. I've been in that situation more than once. I've seen other runners in that situation more than once, and never have I consciously thought, oh, I'll go to the other side and hit him from my right. And great to see it.
Yep, 100%. I mean, the more you practice those things... No, not again! Okay. Getting double crabbed there.
Extra bombs.
But you know what? At least the crab died to the bomb, so we got at least a little bit of revenge out of that. But this is honestly not a great situation to be down 4 hearts already, and we are about to go up Death Mountain again. Now, there is a potential fairy he can pick up along the way underneath some rocks, so I would not be surprised to see him go for that.
Honestly, it's right on the way. I would do it. Definitely don't think that there's anything wrong with it.
Now we're actually going to get a better idea of what the gap is between these runners. We see that Buddha definitely has a lead, so he did kind of turn it around during those segments and caught up. So let's see if he does end up farming that health. Ace takes a little bop there from a squirrel, but not a huge deal.
Nothing too bad, yeah. So just like in our miserable mire, we do have some intentional damage that we take in Turtle Rock.
There we go.
Yep,
There's the
so there
fairy.
we go. And we're also kind of hoping for our fairy delay back in Aga Tower to come back into play here. So there's a little bit of gambling happening. There's a chance you don't get it when you think you should. This dead rock!
That's so rude. Okay, at least he wasn't stuck. Sometimes you can actually get stuck inside the dead rock when it freezes like that, and it's miserable. But yeah, luckily he got out of there and was still able to pick up the rock. But being down 2 hearts already, again, like you said, we're definitely going to be taking some more intentional damage in here. So definitely crossing our fingers to see those fairy drops on both sides.
Turtle Rock is always so interesting to me because you use Canvas of Maria so much more than you do in Misery Mire. Also, I love to see Buddha taking advantage of those sword beams when both of those berries were being booties to him.
Yeah, it's honestly such a rare treat that you don't often see actually having sword beams as you go into there. But when you pick up the fairy, it's a little more likely. So here's okay. That's not the damage we want to take, but we will be taking some hits from this roller on the way out. But yeah, Buddha very smart there. He decided that 1 hit was enough, and he was just going to bail out of there and mirror out at the cost of a few seconds. So actually, Ace has a chance to make up a little bit of time here since he did get the dash out.
He got the dash. He got the quick hook on the torches.
Oh my gosh, are we going to be synced here?
Yeah,
oh
we're pretty much
baby, this is
synced.
great. All right,
Now,
let's see
let's
fairy
see.
drops on both sides, please. Dang, Buddha got
One on
nothing.
Ace's side.
But yeah, Ace did go back up to full hearts, but Buddha, very nice execution on the chomps room there, not taking any damage.
Guys, I don't know if I can do this. This is a lot for me right now.
Just grab some water and take a breath. We're gonna be fine. We'll make it through this together, okay? This sync is absolutely incredible to watch, though. You love to see it. Now Buddha, we should say, still has interesting. So I guess this means Buddha is definitely going to be getting the GT arrow chest. You saw Ace over there did grab those arrows into the pot, so Buddha is definitely going to need to grab that chest of 10 arrows before he falls into Ice Armos. I didn't actually notice, but
I think that was the same Poke RNGs, not to
yeah, checks. But as I was going to say, Buddha does still have a few more chances at getting that fairy drop. He does have this double Pokies room coming up here, where he will have 4 chances at a 50-50 of getting the drops. I believe he's still on the heart, so he's going to need at least 2 drops to fall to get the fairy.
Agreed.
There it is. Okay, he had already seen the heart. And there's the full magic, but he doesn't need it.
But he doesn't need it, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, Ace, not too far behind at all. Both runners, full hearts, excellent magic levels. This is definitely the best way to feel comfortable through the latter part of Turtle Rock here.
Good use of iframes on both sides, and of sword beams for that. Now we're going to take some intentional damage again here, likely. I don't see why either of them would waste. So, yeah.
Yeah, waste of many to the hook shot, I think is what you're going to say. But yeah, it's really definitely not worth it at this point, especially if you're sitting on full hearts. I could definitely see a case for it if you're rather low HP, because coming up to the laser skip here, the laser does 4 hearts of damage, so got to be a little bit careful here. Oh, the beetle trolling both runners a little bit. Oh no, Buddha says, I'm just gonna go, but unfortunately gets tagged by the laser and falls back to the beginning of the room. Meanwhile, Ace is gonna be making his way out, and this beetle will not leave Buddha alone.
Buddha hitting down to 3 hearts, not taking the safety door. Ace having a little bit of trouble with the mini Helmasaur, but still probably in a fine place. Buddha's going to unfortunately be going in with 4 hearts, meaning that
Oh, he skipped the heart. He's going in with 3. I guess
it doesn't make a difference.
A huge difference, but it can, because I think there are parts of Trinex. I think, okay, so the body does 4, I want to say.
Body does
but parts
4,
of it.
heads do the heads do 3 or 2? I think it's 3. But I am not the authority on. Okay, Ace, that's a way to do it. His foot does 2 damage.
Well, either way, it's a moot point because Buddha has lived through the fight. Let's see if we can get an approximate time difference here. I think we're looking at something like 5 seconds apart, which is actually what the difference was coming out of Light World. So we're kind of back to where we started at Dark World. So, but yeah, definitely an incredible race here. It's going to be super tight. Going through Ganon's Tower, and I am very excited to watch it.
Gosh, if this comes down to warps, I'll buy Chex Human a romantic candlelit dinner. You forced my hand. Thank you for the pity laughs. Y'all don't be toxic. I'm doing my best. Buy Chex a pub sub.
Let's see if we get any difference in key routes here. Ace bypassed the torch key. Buddha is picking it up. So that's going to be potentially a difference of 1 second that Ace can gain as a result of doing that, but that entirely depends on his execution later on, so we'll be sure to keep a close eye on that. Nice double crystal. Buddha in there now, executes it very well. No major disasters or flubs so far.
Huh.
Yeah, Ace taking the left warp there, and Buddha taking the right warp. The time difference really is honestly pretty negligible. The thing about the right warp that makes it pretty automatic is that you just can hold down. Movement is a little trickier afterwards, but again, the time difference is really not that much. So, all right, I want to keep a close eye on Buddha here and grabbing this chest. Let's see how he chooses to approach it. Looks like he's going to let the... Oh, no, he's... Okay. Very nice.
That
very
dodge, though.
Yeah, that was good. Nicely executed. Now has the proper amount of arrows falling into the Ice Armos fight here, which Ace is working on cleaning up. Gets the quick kill, dashes out. Same thing on Buddha's side, except takes a little bonk there. That dash is so difficult to time. You see a lot of runners will end up bonking there. Very, very easy thing to do. So cost him a little bit of time there, but he is still right on Ace's tail. Ace getting an unnecessary amount of arrows dropped there. He's now sitting on 21. Maybe he can sell those afterwards or something. I don't know how this works.
Yeah, if only we knew.
Slashing the crystal switch a little low there, but doesn't end up getting owned by the spike, so that timing worked out well for him. Buddha unfortunately does get hit by the spike there. Ace dashing and waiting here on GBZ. Let's see the approach that Buddha takes. Opting to just walk, nice and safe and consistent. Doesn't really lose much time at all over what Ace did there. Ace did get sniped by that Zazik though, so losing a little bit of health here. Okay, they're pretty much just a room apart in this gauntlet, and this gauntlet is full of lots of RNG that the runners have to react to and deal with. So it's largely going to be up to them how much time they end up losing in these rooms. Pretty nicely executed, honestly, on both sides. Oh no, that Landmo immediately booked it for the top left, so I don't think that's a really tough thing to react to and still get a one cycle. Unfortunately, Buddha not able to pick up the one cycle either. Did Ace get a 2 or was it did it end up being a 3?
I think it was a 2, but math's not my strong suit.
Okay, so I don't think, I mean, if it was a 2, then I don't think Buddha really made up much time there. Okay, thank you, Vortex. That was definitely an opportunity for Buddha there to make up some time, but still plenty of that here as we make our way through the top of Ganon's tower. The Moldorm 2 fight here in particular has a little bit of RNG to it, so it can definitely be a little bit of a difference there. You see Ace taking a bonk on those pots as Buddha gets a little bump from the fire bar. And Ace grabbing a heart, grabbing a magic. Yeah, I think Buddha made up just a slight amount of time there, just due to the bonk itself. Okay.
I believe you are correct.
Ace has got some extra bombs here. Doesn't actually decide to waste them in order to get a slightly faster menu later on in the Ganon fight, but not a huge deal. Does end up taking a little bit of a hit in that room where he opted to pick up his key, so I don't think he actually ended up saving that full second from skipping the torch key, but does finish up his Moldorm fight after a little bit of an issue, and Buddha, I think, actually made up a little bit more time there just on that fight, being just slightly faster on the kill. And now we come up to the big difference maker here. This is where good Ganon's towers go to die. The Agatu fight here, so we'll see what kind of patterns get thrown at the runners and how they're able to deal with it. Pretty nice lineup here for Ace. Let's see if he can get 3. Very nice, does get 3. Slightly more awkward pattern, but Buddha still manages 2 out of that. This is a potential, no, never mind. With them all lining up together like that, that was a potential 2 cycle, but unfortunately Aga threw out the blue ball, but very nice 3 cycle fight. It looks like Buddha not getting any damage on that cycle, unfortunately, so best he can do here is a 4, and he does get the triple! Holy moly, that was so close! He just clipped the top of Aga's head there with that very last energy ball and was able to squeak out that 4 cycle, so did end up losing a little bit of time, but it could have been a lot worse. So this is definitely going to come down still to the Ganon fight here. How they execute the 1-on-1, the number of warps that Ganon ends up giving both runners are definitely going to be big factors in play here, so let's see how this goes. Ace gets the double spin off the Trident, is setting up for the 1-on-1 here, does get it, is outside the circle though. This can be a little bit awkward at times. Buddha unfortunately missing the Trident spin there. Oh, they both didn't get the 1-on-1, so this can still be pretty even if Buddha can pull out this top RNG here, which can be pretty tough because Ganon isn't in a position where you can actually get some double spins. So he's going to have another cycle of the Trident phase here, unfortunately. So I'm going to put him just a little bit behind Ace. And Ace now sitting on 1 heart. This is rather intense at this point. Buddha successfully dodging. It looks like Ace is on his 3rd set of tile falls, is into the next phase now. Needs to hit the torch glitch. Ganon is camping the torch, so he does dodge out of the way, does get the torch glitch with the lamp. Very nice, safe, and consistent. Buddha just a little bit behind here with these warps, but now is into the spot where he needs to hit the torch glitch as well. So the big worry here for Ace, he may be playing phase 4 here just a little bit safe because he is sitting on 1 heart, so he may not be as aggressive in going for some of these triples. So if Buddha can actually play this a little more aggressively and get some more triples, he could make up a little bit of time here, but it's going to be close. Oh my gosh, just a few spins left on both sides here. And there is the last spin for Ace. Holy moly. What an ending, y'all. That was a fantastic finish there.
Get your
Buddha, Buddha
Chex,
not far behind it all here.
text me what you want for our romantic dinner, apparently. Because holy crap. Ace finishing with an official SRL time of 1:28.56.
SRL, what year is it? That's actually really close to his PB too. That was only 4.5 seconds off of his PB time there. So just Ace just playing out of his mind. Really, he made such a huge comeback in the Dark World there. And Buddha finishing up the run with a 1:29.24. Excellent run from both runners there. Fantastic race to watch. Looks like we will be getting Ace in here in a moment. Buddha is going to decline the interview, which I totally understand and respect. So GG's to Buddha. Great race, dude. You put on a heck of a show, and it was a very enjoyable watch. And it looks like we are joined by AceZer. GG, congrats on the win.
Thanks. GG to Buddha. That looked like a really close race from the brief opportunities I had to look and see what was happening.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really Turtle Rock where it all kind of started to really sync up, and the Ganon's Tower was really intense on both sides. It was very, very back and forth, just little losses and gains here and there. So how are you feeling about the run, Ace?
I felt good about the run overall. Like, obviously I got a lot of nerves, just really shaky there at the end with, I mean, not only how close I knew the race was, but also that I was on PB pace. I was 4 seconds ahead after Ganon's Tower. I knew it was close too, but...
Yeah, for sure. I have to ask, what in the world happened in your PB at Ice Palace to where you made up like 34 seconds?
Oh, it's Ice Palace. So I had...
Okay.
I think I lost 3 hearts on the overworld. I know I lost at least 2, and I did everything I could to get hearts back, and nothing worked. And then I was, of course, nervous through the dungeon. I think I failed the IPVJ, and then I had the typical cold stare party that I just made sure I didn't die in to lose, the 3 minutes.
Right. Yeah, that was honestly just an incredible turnaround there, and it was really exciting to watch your splits and see that you were pretty on pace and definitely within PB range. So that was definitely exciting to see. I did want to ask, are tree rupees, are Saha rupees something that you always go for and have always gone for? Have you never switched over? Or was that just a safety thing for the race?
Yeah, I haven't switched over yet. I was planning on it like after the tourney because I didn't want to worry about one more thing during tournament races and mess up all my like muscle memory. That's a pretty decent change, and I like having the bombs for safety too. Like, I know I usually end up with extra. Like this one, I think I had 2 or 3 extra bombs. I think it was 2 that I just didn't need. But if you miss one here or there, I just don't even have to think about it. I pretty much never need to pick any up like in Swamp. So it just it's a nice like peace of mind thing that
Yeah,
I haven't
sure.
switched yet. I'd like to at some point, but not just yet.
No, I think it's absolutely a great safety thing for races like this. You're comfortable that you have all your rupees, and like you said, you have plenty of bombs, so you are never really worried about those either, and you have a backup in case Spooky goes wrong and stuff like that. So one other thing we do need to ask you about is your desert lobby strat. Is that just what you always do? The very first first room of desert there?
I always try to push people to do that strat because I love it.
Really? What?
I love it.
Do you want people to get blasted by BMOS all the time, or what?
It's not even so. Like, I grinded it out to see because after numerous people that are way better than me told me to stop doing it, and I grinded out and like tried to compare back to back, and like, you know, eight or 9 times out of 10, I'm faster doing it that way. And I realized like exactly what I was doing wrong when I did get hit by that BMOS, and since then I pretty much never get hit. You dash a little further if you're worried about it, and then you end up losing the few frames that you save over the easier strat by dashing extra and then walking back down to pick up the pot with the arrows. But like, I don't know, I like it. I feel like it's comfy. For whatever reason, that dash to the left, maybe just because I haven't really practiced it all that much, but it feels awkward. And I never know how far left to go. But I love that strat.
Yeah. I mean, that's a totally
do.
fair. That's a totally fair answer. And the thing that I appreciate about it is that you tested it for yourself. You didn't just blindly accept what everyone else is doing, and you actually determined what was best for you to do there. And that's something that we really encourage in this community is that just find what works for you, and that is always going to be the best strat, is whatever is consistent for you. So I'd give you some props for that.
Yeah, there's a handful of strats like that I know like are, especially there's a lot of them that are optimal if you do them perfectly, but if you don't do it right, you're losing a handful of frames for like what's a harder strat. But I feel more comfortable with, like, this was a rare occurrence where I messed it up, but the hammer dash right before Helmasaur is an example of that. For whatever reason, when I like walk, I like the timing of the turtles, like the spacing of them is weird, and I get hit sometimes. Like, it shouldn't be difficult, but a lot of times I'll like try to hit the second pair of turtles, and the first pair will flip over on me, and I'll take damage. So I find when I do the hammer dash, they're spaced out better. But obviously, in this case, and every once in a while, I'll miss the hammer dash, and then
carries a little bit of risk with it for sure. And we were a little nervous for you going into Helmasaur there, but you survived and made it through.
That's a fight I'm not too worried about. And it's weird that I think just because I've done well in races on Helmasaur, like, I don't have a lot of nerves for that. Like, my race, the bosses I'm nervous about in races are totally different than what I'm nervous about when I do runs, like, that aren't a race.
Okay,
like,
interesting.
Like, Vitreous is like in my head in the race. Like, I'm terrified, and that's why like I did like a weird diagonal movement and ran into that eyeball immediately because I was like overthinking it and too tense. But normally when I do runs, like, that's not one that I worry about as much. And of course, I like missed the flute trying to like get that extra heart from the crowd on the way there too.
But you did claim that heart, and that was very impressive because you didn't end up trading one back. But excellent run, dude. It was a really fun race to watch. It looks like as the winner of this match, you will be going on to face Matt 7898. So how are you feeling about that matchup?
I mean, not great, but I've definitely been the underdog for at least a couple in a row now.
Yeah, so for this race even. So
yeah, for sure. Like, I knew I'd have to play really well to have a chance of beating Buddha, but I don't know. It should be a fun match. Like, I've raced Matt in randos before, and he usually is a lot faster than me. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to
it. On this race, what happened to Buddha in the Ganon fight? Because I knew we were close. Was it the Ganon fight or was the top of GT that cost him?
It was, so he got a 4-cycle Agatu versus your 3. He just actually barely clutched out the 4-cycle Agatu, and then in the Ganon fight itself, unfortunately he couldn't get the 1-1, which I think you missed as well, but I think he had to do a 1-3. and then just got a few more warps. So that was pretty much the difference maker there. But yeah, really
I figured I
great
was done
race to
when I
watch.
missed the 1-1. I figured that's it because I checked right as I entered the Aga fight and saw we were like still neck and neck, and then figured out again, and I was like, well, it's probably over now unless he gets a million warps.
Yeah. But yeah, you just got to keep playing your game. You know, no matter what happens, you can't worry about that kind of stuff, and just play to the best of your ability. So, but yeah, thanks so much, Anders. Anything you wanted to ask? Sorry, I kind of completely took over there, but anything you wanted to ask as well?
You know, I love listening to you talk about the game. So, just thank you, Ace, for giving us such a great race. Buddha, if you are listening, thank you too. It's always lovely to see you run. That's all from me.
Yeah, so Buddha actually, as the loser of this race, he's not out of the tournament yet at all. He will go down to the bottom bracket there and face the winner of Rob J. Beasley and Negazeus, as I mentioned at the top of the race. So definitely not over in his tourney adventure as well. So keep cheering him on. Please do follow our runners. It was a very entertaining race to watch, and I hope you all enjoyed it. So thank you all so much. Thank you to ZSR, as always, for hosting. Thanks to everyone for watching and hanging out. And with that, we will turn things back over.
Okay. Yep, I put the commands in chat. Follow our runners and follow our commentators. All right, looking at the schedule, we've got a Twilight Princess Any % tournament race coming up in about 50 minutes. Here, and then tomorrow, starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, we have the 3D Zelda Relay Race. So we're going to see Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, and Breath of the Wild, all in a relay. They'll all be benefiting Cure Rare Disease. So we are going to go raid Zelda Speedruns main. They are doing the Ocarina of Time Randomizer Freaky Friday race. It's all Master Quest dungeons there, so say hi to them. And thank you all for watching.